So a fraudster contacted a real estate company, generated a fake ID, asked them to list a property because he lived out of town and wanted to sell really quick like, and it was my property. When I found it, it was under contract. After stopping that sale, I spent 2 to 3 weeks doing fact finding and getting information concerning the transaction. And thanks and a shout out to all the vets that reached out. I had a lot of vets. The vet community is awesome. And today we're going to talk about what you do in the aftermath, what options you have at your disposal, and what the pros and cons are. If you missed the original video and want to see it, it's linked below and it'll start at the end of this. Let's get into this. I put all the options in 2 categories. The first one is public accountability and the second is monetary accountability. Let's talk about public first. So the first option is to file a claim against the brokerage with TREC, the Texas Real Estate Commission. Basically, TREC is the organization that sets rules for consumers to be protected by real estate folks. I will tell you that the process is fairly straightforward. They have a simple form, and I've done my due diligence over the last 2 weeks to gather information and evidence and fill that out. Now, possible outcomes from that, they literally could get a file folder with their name on it, saying they're bad boys and told not to do it again. Most probable is they will have to do like some type of training and document it and send it that the whole brokerage did it. They could get a monetary fine that goes into a fund in case people get sued. In this case, that is less probable, and the least probable is they could lose their brokerage license. The second option is the newspaper reached out to me and they want to do a story on fraud and real estate. And that's about as public as you can get in public information. And the ultimate public information option, YouTube videos. This one, the last one, there will be a third one, which will be the final, and that's it, because I don't want to dwell on bad stuff. But I do want to get the information out there, and I think it's helped people, and I'm appreciative for that. There are a couple other organizations that I could report this to in Texas, but it seems like on most of the complaint forms, they ask you who you already put in a complaint with. And so I've got a feeling that if you put in with one, it would be hard to get any accountability in another arena. You know, the nice thing about the public information options is I'm not limited to just one. I could do all 3. The only thing that I have to be careful of is that it doesn't interfere with the monetary accountability side of it. What one would you all do? Or would you do 2 or all 3? All right, let's talk about monetary accountability now. The first option would be for a letter to be written and sent certified mail, whether it was by me or the lawyer, asking for compensation for my time, energy, and effort. And the natural second option would be if they didn't pay based on the certified letter that I asked them for or the lawyer asked them for, I could take them to small claims court. And small claims court, everything would be decided. The onus is on me to produce all of the evidence with no discovery time or support from the court. And so definitely a con to some degree, but if you have your ducks in a row, it could be effective. I guess as long as the judge sees the way you do. So I'm outside the lawyer's office. We're about to find out what everybody thinks in the comments and all the advice I've gotten, see what's actually true. As I think about the meeting with the lawyer yesterday, I kind of expected that that was the answer I was going to get. At the end of the day, he gave me a lot of technical mumbo jumbo that I researched over last night, and it really just supported his perspective. And the perspective is, it's going to cost more in billable hours than what I'm probably going to get back. He also let me know that because the case is fraud, his fees cannot be automatically included. They've got to be tied to something. In this case, the fraudster is the person that committed the fraud, and the real estate company was negligent. So there would be a percentage assigned to the real estate company, more than likely, that would say how much at fault they are. And that could be like 20% or 40% or 60%. So if I'm only looking to get back the money that I think is compensatable by my time, energy, and effort, then I would be looking at having a big billable hour and probably not getting paid enough, not only for my time, but to pay the lawyer. And the reason that is because The real estate company is what they call a responsible third party. They're not the ones that initially tried to commit the fraud. They were the vehicle in which the fraudster used. And they just didn't do their due diligence to make sure that they couldn't be used. So it's still definitely an option, but the effects come at a high price. Literally. I'm curious what you guys think of the three options. Each option takes a different amount of money, a different amount of effort. They all take either one. It's either less money, more effort, or more money and less effort. But it's going to take more of something to get some type of financial compensation. Well, I hope you learned something. I know that this is not all inclusive. This is not legal advice. I feel obligated to say that for some reason. This is just my experience and some of the avenues that you should look down if this happens to you or someone you know. I think I have a pretty good idea based on the situation. I will say overall, the options aren't necessarily great. I don't love how the system is set up to protect people. And this is a bigger issue beyond this specific situation. I do want to say thanks for watching, subscribing, sending to a friend. We really appreciate the support. Doing those things is the best way to support us as we're going through this journey, whether it's a fun journey or one of these journeys. And I am going to ask a favor, as I always do. If someone hasn't told you already this week, do me a favor. Make the day you deserve. As I look at these three options, there's a lot to take into account. I think most people would be emotionally charged over this. I am not. I want to make sure that this doesn't happen again from this company and to spread awareness. And so which three of these options would do that the best? And then secondary, I would like to be compensated for my time, effort, and energy because I would have rather not done this. I will say due to your guys' support or just liking drama or hearing bad news, I don't know why you watch this.